There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she lost count of them. One morning, as she laid the places at the breakfast table, she couldn't remember just how many bowls and spoons to put down. Was it 9? 10? 11? Oh dear, she cried. What is happening to me? I have lost count of my children. The trouble was, unbeknown to her, the eldest girl, Bluebell, had invited some friends to come and stay, and she had forgotten to mention it to the poor old woman. Then there was little William. His best friend Brian had come for a birthday party at the shoe a week earlier, and he had had such a good time he'd forgotten to go home again. As if that wasn't enough, Pip, the paper boy, who called at the shoe very early in the mornings, had taken to stay for breakfast before going off and finishing his paper round. The result of all this coming and going was finally sending the poor old woman in a state of utter confusion. And no matter how many children she cooked for, there was never enough food. Then one morning, when the children came running into the kitchen for their breakfast, they had an awful shock. There was no breakfast to be seen, and no old woman. "Oh dear, what shall we do?" they all cried. "There is no porridge for us to eat." The truth was, the old woman had become so tired and confused with all the children that she had decided to stay in bed. "You will just have to fend for yourselves," she said. "I am too tired to bother." It didn't take long for the many children to realize how selfish and thoughtless they had been. "Come on," said Bluebell. "Let us get breakfast for the poor old woman for a change." "What a good idea!" cried the others. Brian and William went out into the garden to milk the cow and came back carrying a jug of fresh, creamy milk. Pip cleaned out the old ash and lit a new fire in the grate, whilst Bluebell cooked the porridge and boiled the kettle for tea. The 2 youngest girls went outside and picked a bunch of pretty flowers, and the others polished and dusted and swept the floor. "What hard work this is!" they cried. "Yes," said Bluebell, "and the poor old woman does this every day all on her own. From now on we will all get up earlier and help her." By the time the porridge was done, the kitchen was clean and tidy, and a bright, cheerful fire was burning in the grate. The children fetched a pretty tray, and on it they put a bowl of porridge, a shiny spoon, a nice cup of tea, and a vase of flowers. Then they proudly carried the tray upstairs to give the old woman her breakfast in bed. She was very pleased, and the children promised faithfully never to take her for granted again. The following morning all their guests had gone home, and Pip the paper boy had decided that although he delivered the paper each morning, it was very rude to stay without being asked. When they all sat down to breakfast, there were 13 bowls, 13 spoons, and 13 children. "Now we are just one big happy family again," chorused the children. "And from now on we will all share in the work." The old woman beamed with delight, and she began to ladle out the porridge.
The Little Tin Soldier. Long ago, before plastic was ever invented, toy soldiers were often made from tin, and this story concerns one of them. The man who made the tin soldiers had received an order. "Make me 20, he'd been told by the father of a boy who...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?